Kyle, thank you for sharing this LINKS platform with us here at this conference. It's a very novel and innovative drug delivery platform. One of the slides that you put up, though, showed the dearth of manufacturing capacity or base in Africa. And I just wanted to raise awareness that the ISPE Foundation has a Technology Without Borders program. And we've actively extended the book of knowledge through the foundation to Brazil, for example. And we're looking to continue that across the globe. Let's give them another round of applause, please. Now, our next speaker is a patient perspective. And it highlights the need for all of us to make sure that we're focusing on the patient. Our next speaker is Matthew Pearl. Matthew is 26 years of age, an individual with Fanconi Anemia, and a patient advocate. He serves on several nonprofits, including the Fanconi Anemia Research Fund, the Rare Action Network, the National Organization for Rare Disorders, and the National Ability Center. He's on several boards. He's on both the Utah Rare Disease Advisory Council and the Professional Ski Instructors of America through his participation on the American Association of Snowboard Instructors Intermount Board of Directors. Matthew obtained a BS degree from Westminster College in Missouri with a major in leadership consulting and organizations and minors in social and personality psychology and nonprofit management. Matthew attended the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute at Harvard as the first patient with FA to research FA. He speaks around the globe bringing insight and inspiration to the rare disease community. Without further ado, I welcome Matthew Pearl to the stage.
Thank you, Tom. Good morning. As you can see, I have taken a lot of drugs in my 26 years of life. It's okay. They've all been legal. These were my prescriptions I took 3 times a day to stay alive during my bone marrow transplant in 2006. So thank you for what you do and for possibly even saving my life. I may not be standing here this morning if it were not for many of your companies. So here's to drugs. Has anyone ever heard of my disease, Fanconi Anemia? Okay, let me tell you a little bit about it. FA occurs equally in males and females. There are approximately 31 FA births per year. FA is very rare. There are only 320 adults living with FA in the United States and about 1,000 total, both children and adults, in the world. It is a DNA inherited repair disease that may lead to bone marrow failure, leukemia, and solid tumors. It is a recessive disorder. So if both parents carry a defect or mutation in the same FA gene, each of their children has a 25% chance of inheriting the defective gene from their parents. When this happens, the child will have FA. Scientists currently discovered 23 FA or FA-like genes. In fact, the FANCD1 gene is also a breast cancer gene, BRCA2. FA affects all ethnic groups worldwide. Just decades ago, many children did not survive to adulthood. FA affects all systems of the body. Sadly, many people with FA eventually develop acute myeloid leukemia. FA patients are extremely likely to develop a variety of cancers at a much earlier age than the general population. Even those like me who have had a successful bone marrow transplant are only cured of the blood problem associated with FA, but still must constantly watch for signs of cancer. I had major doses of chemo and full body ration for hours at age 9. There are 3 main centers treating FA: in the US. Sloan Kettering in New York, the University of Minnesota in Minneapolis, and Cincinnati Children's Hospital in Ohio. Since we're in Vegas, I'll talk about winning. Not money or gambling. No, my parents won the FA lottery. See, I also have an older sister who has FA. As you can see from the pictures, we share everything and support each other. We've been told it's 1 in a million to have 1 in 16 million to have 2 kids with FA. Alexandra also survived her bone marrow transplant in 2001 and is amazingly with us today. Actually, we're only one of only a few families in the world where both kids affected with FA have survived transplant in our life. As you can imagine, it's not been an easy road. My parents were told 90% of marriages with medical strife end in divorce. They were told Alex had a perfect match, but there was no match in the world to save my life. Mom said, fine, we'll find his match. Then the bone marrow transplant team said it's 1 in a million to find his match. So Mom answered back, then we'll add 1 million people to the worldwide registry and save Matt's life. Mom gets knocked down a lot. Imagine swallowing that kind of news. While Alex was very sick in the hospital, Mom started organizing bone marrow drives all over the world. Our family raised $1 million to pay for people getting tested and added to the registry. It cost $89.50 per person, and it was a blood draw stick. As we heard, people don't like needles. Hundreds of lives have been saved by these efforts, but after adding 100,000 new donors to the list, there was still no match for me. Let me share some backstory. See, Alex was born in 95, 4 weeks premature, born blue, not breathing, and misdiagnosed with Vater syndrome. Mom flatlined as her epidural went up instead of down, shutting off her breathing. The doctors lost them both. Mom slowly came back, and Alex went immediately into surgery. Doctors said Alex would probably never walk, talk, or eat on her own. She also later endured several hand surgeries with specialists warning us she may never button a shirt or tie her own shoes. Here's Alex's left hand with only 4 digits, as she found a starfish to match. This sent a strong message, a sweet message to us that it was okay to be different. I was born January 14th, 97, also misdiagnosed and had hip dysplasia. Many therapies, doctors, drugs, and years later for both of us, now Alex was close to heart failure. It's December of 2000. Alex is in the ICU, and my parents just received more devastating news that she and I are both candidates for this rare, potentially fatal, life-threatening blood disorder called Fanconi Anemia. As you can imagine, our world was shattered into pieces. Alex was dying next to Mom and I in the ICU. Dad was away working in Montreal, Canada. Remember, this is before 9/11. So he made it through customs with no passport or luggage and arrived just before an ice storm shut down the St. Louis, Missouri airport. Mom screamed at the doctors to fix this. She was not burying 2 babies. I was 4. Swinging off of Alex's IV pole, oblivious her devastating diagnosis would also soon be mine. We were all in shock. Mom climbed a tree that Christmas as she was devastated with the dismal survival rates and prognosis of FA. She wouldn't come down for hours, crying in the freezing cold. I must say, I am most grateful she is also with us today as Dad finally did coax and calm her down. Alex went into transplant in 2001 with only a 17% survival rate. She was number 2 in the world on a clinical trial using fludarabine with peripheral cells. Fludarabine became FDA approved in 2008. Again, someone in here may have saved her life. Her transplant was extremely difficult and I could not see her. She had a stroke and went temporarily blind. She now owns Allywood, a custom hand-carved ink pen company. She also teaches skiing and snowboarding in Park City at the National Ability Center like me. Now, some good news. The survival rate is now 50% and it's 2006, and it was my turn. I received my second chance for life, but still did not have a very good match. I was number 2, trying reduced radiation and a clinical trial. My transplant was very rough and I had countless complications. I almost didn't make it, came close to losing my life 3 times. I didn't eat for 6 months, 144 days straight at one point. I had an NG tube up my nose and carried a backpack full of liquid food called TPN that I hated. I was on heavy drugs for horrific pain and hallucinated a lot. Thanks again for the really effective drugs. See, one time on my self-controlled morphine pump, I was up on my knees, up on my bed, surfing on a purple alligator, drinking a Dr. Pepper. I love Dr. Pepper. I told Mom, making her laugh. She wrote down all of my hallucinations, and there were many. We lived in a Ronald McDonald house in Minneapolis, Minnesota, facing extremely difficult times. See, Dad lost his job. We were denied insurance. At that time, a transplant was millions of dollars. A lot of kids around me passed away. I developed graft-versus-host disease of the gut and was on heavy steroids. But my parents say to see life as a glass half full. So here's a great example of FA positivity. Because of taking steroids during transplant, I was the only boy in 5th grade with facial hair. And we all know the girls really like guys with facial hair. Okay, so the hair was not quite in the right places. Check out the unibrow. But more positive news. The current survival rate is now over 87% for a Fanconi Anemia unrelated matched bone marrow transplant at centers that specialize in FA. Needless to say, struggles have made me who I am. I made it through a very difficult transplant. After returning home, I developed a vascular necrosis, or AVN, from the steroids. I needed a hip replacement. I believe the more difficult the problem, the greater the importance of its solution. I always try to be fair and part of that solution. I also believe we make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. Sir Winston Churchill. My parents have always encouraged Alex and I to help others. We came home from transplant and life was good. Mom was in menopause. That made transplant look easy. Dad started his own consulting firm and we were all back together in St. Louis, Missouri adjusting. I graduated Westminster College and landed my dream job at the National Ability Center teaching snowboarding to the disabled. Then, wham! August of 2018, my sister, my best friend, was diagnosed with cancer. And the medical bomb exploded again. Alex went back to Cincinnati Children's Hospital and endured many difficult surgeries, and FA complications once again rocked our world. She's now 5 years out from cancer. In October of 2018, we also decided to sell our house in St. Louis, Missouri and move to Park City, Utah. Of course, driving across the country in January of 19 was the worst snowstorm any of us had ever seen. At one point, with Dad driving in front of me, with Alex and the cat, and towing her car, he asked if Mom should drive my car. I looked over at Mom. She'd passed out. No one handles stress like my mom and dad. They're amazing examples of determination, grit, and inspiration. But she was not moving. I said, Dad, I think Mom's dead, but I'm not pulling over. And that's just how we roll. I've learned that the most important thing in life is to be together, laugh, make memories, and live a high quality of life, always helping each other and others. I'm now 26, Alex is 28, and the average age for an FA patient is only 39. So please, stand up if you're 39 or older. Can you imagine your life being over? Thank you. You can all sit down. So what does a person do? How do you live? Well, you fight harder, you be stronger, you live every day to the absolute fullest, you work hard and do not sweat the small stuff. And it's all small stuff. Alex and I know we are the lucky ones, as many more of our dearest friends have passed away too soon. Honestly, it's very scary to be this young and think we may only have 5 to 10 good years left. With the high probability we will have to face the agony and pain of cancer. We sit in doctors' offices probably more than many of you, and we endure very painful biopsies and countless tests. Alex and I know without your help we may not be alive. I must say, I'm very proud that this is my story. I only hope by sharing today it will make a difference, raise awareness for much needed research and new drugs to improve or even save lives. I believe I survived transplant to put purpose to the pain and hope I can make a difference. Yes, FA is like living with a giant twisted roller coaster. I've undergone a bone marrow transplant, countless surgeries, lived in hospitals much of my life, have 1 kidney, thumb anomalies, am hearing impaired, and obviously I am much shorter than most guys and girls my age. Like life, FA can be extremely complicated and confusing. But as I said, I would honestly not dream of changing. People ask me all the time, would I do over having FA? I answer no. It's made me who I am. My goal in life is to speak on every continent, bringing awareness for FA and cancer. I hope to inspire all of you here today. Mom told me at a very young age, life is what you make it. Never waste a moment with pity and put others first. I believe a full life is focusing on what you have, not on what you don't. See, many FA kids do not have arms and are missing fingers, but they learn to overcome and achieve. They turn disabilities into abilities. So, my message today is simple. I have a lot to do in a possibly short lifetime, and I do not want to get cancer. I need all of you to work even harder to help us with rare diseases to live longer, better lives. Use the can in cancer. We can do it. You can make a difference here this week. You can save precious lives. You can be heroes providing light in a dark world. Let this conference be dedicated to all affected by disease and destruction. Just ask yourself, what would you do if it was your child, your loved one? I think you would all fight hard like me. See, the key is knowing your time, dedication, and drive does make a difference. We need your company and employees to be the very best they can be. So here are my life lessons to help you through the week. FA, life lesson, number 1. Always love and appreciate your family. I really love my family. Sitting in waiting rooms for hours teaches patience, creativity, compassion, love, and perseverance. FA, life lesson, number 2. Always be a doer and a dreamer. Take charge and always have dreams to continue making your life and career better. Be selfless and find the positive. Number 3. Once again, I witnessed a dedicated army of friends, families, doctors, and nurses fighting to save my life. Smile, hold doors open for each other, and always be a light in darkness. FA life lesson number 4. FA means fight always and find answers. Never, ever give up. FA affects my life every minute of every day. Like I said, I'm hearing impaired, but I have Bluetooth hearing aids that have allowed me to listen to music in one ear and my teachers in the other. I march to the beat of my own drum, having full confidence in who I am. I live life to the absolute fullest as a radical snowboarder, a motorcycle rider, a mountain climber, and am a 2nd-degree black belt. FA pushes me beyond normal limits. It forces me to turn disabilities into abilities. FA life lesson number 5. Stand tall. Be a strong leader. Having a rare disease gives me a calculated plan of executing intentions, realizing goals, staying strong-minded, and never, ever taking no for an answer. FA life lesson number 6. Research is the key. See, I recently underwent a cancer brush on my lip. I'm still waiting on results. Once again, FA shakes my family to the core, makes us stop to think, organize, and value precious time to live a purposeful life. FA makes me deeply aware, always present. FA life lesson number 6. Life is helping others, not a job or a paycheck. Working for a nonprofit, I don't make a lot of money, but when I leave the slopes after getting a child with autism to sing on the chairlift or help a newly amputee conquer a blue run is amazing. My deepest desire is to always make a difference. And a quote I live by is by an amazing man who said, "I grew up with a real sense that an individual can make a difference, and that if you can, you should." David Frommeyer. FA life lesson number 8. Put purpose to the pain. Yes. FA makes life extremely complicated, challenging, and confusing. It's been my greatest teacher, keeping my family in constant check of how fragile life is. With the potential of a limited lifetime, I know I must grow and change every day to be the absolute best version of myself. I know I must stay strong in my faith in God. So, I will leave you with my signature story. You've probably been wondering why I've been standing next to this giant white crayon all this time. Think about it. It's the crayon that never gets used. The sharpest one in the box. The one that never gets picked. Never touched. But one day, the white crayon will stand out because you will learn that all you ever needed was black paper. FA life lesson number 9. FA is my black paper. Please come visit me in Park City, Utah. I would love you to meet me and my family and answer any questions. Come ask me about my cool new shoes. May God bless you all. Thank you. And always be the white crayon.
Tell me what